you know, and if we have to move back, or if we have to move that back a row, make sure that the department heads.
I mean, we got
place to come.
6, 9.
I can put them on this row.
Yeah, that row or the row behind it, right in here.
Okay.
Yeah, just put them over there.
Thank you.
You got a game plan?
Line y'all. He just wants me to call out names.
We'll do the rest.
Meeting to order on Monday, March the 7th, 2016. I want to welcome everyone. I'm going to ask that Councilmember Charles Welch to give the invocation and also lead us in the pledge to the flag. So would everyone please rise at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day we've had, Lord, and we thank you for the spring and the jonquils in this great city that we live in. We just ask, Lord, that you bless our city and bless each and every citizen, and bless our country, Lord, as we're going through an election coming up this year, Lord. Just be with each and every one of us as we make a decision, Lord, and help us to make the right decision there. We just ask, Lord, if you would be with us this evening, these decisions that are made tonight, that they be something that will further your name, help to progress this city, help the people here to become better citizens as we go through our everyday lives, and help us to remember those that aren't as fortunate as we are. Lord, we just ask you watch over us as we go home this evening, keep us safe and protect us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't have a chair. Thank you, Corky, for doing that. Agenda changes, we do not have any. I will note that Councilmember Derek Norton is out of town on business, and Susan Wilkinson is not feeling well, so she's not here tonight. Under the mayor's report, we got several things. Proclamation recognition of the 60th anniversary of Georgia City County Management Association. Ron Fennell has got that. I don't know if there's anybody here to accept that.
Is Miss Kay Love here from Roswell?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
come on down, Kay,
forward.
please.
Don't be afraid.
Kay is the city administrator over in Roswell, but she serves this year, as I understand it, as president of this organization. It's my pleasure, on behalf of the mayor and the city, to read this proclamation. Then I'll present it to you, if you don't mind.
So you're a city administrator, huh? Or manager? Big difference.
Yes, it is.
It's all on the outside, Mike, remember. A proclamation by the mayor and the city of Smyrna in recognition of GCCMA's 60th anniversary. Whereas the Georgia City County Management Association is celebrating 60 years of service to Georgia leaders, cities, and counties, and whereas GCCMA is the recognized affiliate organization of the International City County Management Association, and whereas GCCMA, originally founded in 1956 by a small group of managers interested in professional development, has grown and expanded its membership to include Georgia's city and county managers and administrators, directors of regional development centers, and their principal assistants, and whereas GCCMA membership represents several state agencies in addition to the representatives of the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia and the Georgia Municipal Association, and whereas GCCMA is revered as the premier association of professional local government leaders building sustainable communities to improve lives across Georgia, and whereas GCCMA's mission is to create excellence in local government by fostering innovation, collaboration, mentoring, networking, continuing education, and other professional development opportunities. And whereas GCCMA provides a variety of member services, including a coaching program, 2 educational conferences each year with programs emphasizing issues of special interest to Georgia managers, and whereas GCCMA members also have access to multiple training programs on special subject matters as part of GCCMA's commitment to continuing professional development. And whereas They will change your oil for you on Saturdays. GCCMA has assisted professional local government managers in all areas of the state of Georgia in obtaining continued legal education and experience through scholarship and internship programs. Now, therefore, I, Amax Bacon, Mayor of Smyrna, Georgia, do hereby recognize the Georgia City County Management Association's 60th anniversary in the year of our Lord 2016. Encourage all of the government leaders to recognize GCCMA for the significant impact the organization has made and continues to make in Georgia counties, in witness whereof I hereunto have set my hand to cause the seal of the city of Smyrna to be affixed this 7th day of March in the year of our Lord 2016. Amax Bacon, Mayor of Smyrna.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, thank you very much for taking the time to recognize our professional organization and help us celebrate our 60th anniversary. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Okay,
Thank you. Sorry. It was so
Have you
long.
got to go all the way back to Roswell now?
Yes, sir.
Boy, that's a long haul, isn't it?
No, it's not bad. I'll be going in the opposite direction now that traffic's all out of the way. So
Well, we appreciate you coming out.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why can't you look like that? Item B on the mayor's report is presentation of Keep Smyrna Beautiful Awards and introduction of the Keep Smyrna Beautiful board members. Ann Kirk is somewhere out there. We're glad to have you.
Good evening. We're here tonight because we want to present and share the awards that the Keep Smyrna Beautiful Board and Commission has earned over the last year. We won first place in the state for our programming and first place in the nation for our population group. There were 4 population groups nationwide, and we got the first place. Plus, they created a new award, which I think maybe they did for us, which is the Sustained Excellence Award. So we have these awards. Would everybody come up and I'll introduce you? Most of our board members are here tonight. There were some that couldn't make it. Those that couldn't be with us tonight are Liz Davis, who's out sick, Eric Dennis with children issues, Holly Elmendorf had another appointment, Carlene McNabb, and Lois Lewis are out of town. Derek Norton is also a past board member, and Pam Dobb, Stephanie Bush, and Gary Nelson also served on the board during this time. So I would like to introduce them, and as I say your name, would you raise your hand, please? Judy Hartley, Lisa Castleberry, Phyllis Owens, Ed Plansker, Gina Bridges, Nell Robinson, Betty Williams, and Angie Bolton.
They did good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to the citizens. This is our state award. And the elected officials and all the department heads, because we would not have a prayer of doing what we do without you. Thank you very much.
No, and we thank y'all because y'all do so much for our community, and they don't get paid anything. I think this is one of the organizations that really gives back to their community. And if it wasn't for your volunteers, Ann would be nothing. So thank y'all very much for
That's
all y'all
right.
do. You know.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. The Citizens Police Academy graduating class ceremony and presentation of certificates. Chief Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to call up Master Patrol Officer Lewis Defense. This is our 4th graduating class, and this is probably the most vocal of the group from what I heard. Lewis has told me a lot of stories. Of course, we have one of our own city employees in it, Dan Campbell. We also have the mayor of Bennett Woods, Lager Goodman. And, as you know, this program goes on for about 9 weeks. And they get to see all the different aspects. And I'm going to let Lewis brag on this because this is really his program. He put this together, and I'll let him tell you a little bit more about it.
Thank you, Chief.
Go ahead.
The program is normally 9 weeks. However, because of the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays, it was 15 weeks. But during that 15 weeks, it was a great experience because not only did I get to meet new citizens, I think I've made new friends. So I'm very proud of these guys. They endured a lot, and I believe that they learned a lot. So I'm very happy to be here with them tonight.
I saw you with the red wig on, though, one time. I saw that picture. Or it appeared to be a red wig.
It's Miss Goodman's wig. We were having a photo op.
The wind called it.
The perfect time.
Yeah, well, you look good.
Thank you, sir.
I'm afraid I might have shared that picture with one or two people. But at this time, we'll call everybody up.
The first certificate goes to Philip Arnold.
I know that guy. Can we clap?
Yeah, sure.
Dan Campbell.
Amen, Dan.
Allegra Goodman.
All right.
Jonathan Harworth.
Right.
That's supposed to be JD.
Hey, congratulations.
Dana Heron. Reginald Knight. Thank you, sir.
I'm ready to put you in bed.
Quintina Knight. Last but not least, Terrence Williams.
Congratulations. And one honorable mention.
Carrie Pasquale, she's not here tonight. It's her birthday, and she said she was out celebrating, so we'll get her certificate to her.
Chief, I know it's always good for us to at least ask the participants and the graduates what they thought about the academy, and I know I don't think anybody got notice. I was going to ask you to say something about it, to just if you want to. Don't be afraid.
Which spokesperson wants to come up and speak? Allegra?
Or one person can speak.
Person, Allegra, wants to come up and speak.
Allegra. It is what it is, baby.
This is the one that donated the hair.
Yes, that was my hair on the picture. We've learned a lot. We've gotten to know each other real well. There's a lot of stuff in the city of Smyrna that happens in the police department that we just had no idea. It's been very enlightening, eye-opening. Makes you understand why they do a lot of the things they do, and it helps us when people ask questions or dogging on the police or something. You can actually say to them, well, there's a reason why they do these things, and the reason why they do it is this, or whatever it is, and it helps people to understand. So without the program, I wouldn't have learned as much, and I think I speak for everybody. And you did get to shoot stuff, and I'm not a very good shot. Watch out.
that encourages us to continue the program and to keep doing it, and to have Chief. He's got a great staff, and usually it's my position, if I just let people do what they're supposed to do, usually works out pretty good. Once I get involved, then I'll mess it up. But it sounds like I've heard a lot of things about this group because of that one right there, right in the middle. But I think it is it's great because you get to see, and we have one for the fire department also. But being out there with the police really makes you understand, I think, a little bit about what's going on. So thank y'all very much for.
Sure, I do want to clarify something. When she said shoot stuff, it was targets. Now, they did get to go on a simulator, and I think
I didn't do very well.
Allegra didn't do very well.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Hey, Chief.
Can you see me? Hold on.
Again, thank you.
Thank y'all very much. We have got some candidates that I know that are running for public office. I think there's an election sometime in May for several judgeships. If you're here for that, or if you're here that you're running, you can come forward, and I'll just tell you, if you do a long, drawn-out speech, it's not a good idea to do that. It's just, if you just come up and tell us who you are and what you're running for, then it's great.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, for giving an opportunity. I'm Kim Childs. I'm running for Superior Court Judge in Cobb County. Judge Adele Grubbs is retiring, and I'm running for her vacant seat. I'm the only candidate in my race from Smyrna. I'm also the only candidate in my race who has worked in a jail. I worked in the DeKalb County Jail right after college, so I got some good boots on the ground experience. I'm not going to take a lot of time, but I would appreciate your support and your vote, and anybody who's here tonight that would like to talk with me more, I'll be hanging out afterwards. So Kim Childs, the election is May 24th. Thanks.
May 24th. That's
May 24th. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good deal. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name's Jane Manning, and I'm running for a state court position, a position being vacated by Judge Catherine Tanksley. I'm a 30-year resident of Cobb County and a 30 years practicing attorney. I have served 15 years for the Cobb County Solicitor's Office as a prosecutor in misdemeanor cases, and that's the type of judgeship that I would be standing over as far as the criminal end. I also have extensive civil experience and appellate experience, and I'd love to have your support. Again, Jane Manning, and you can look me up on Facebook, and the election is May 24th. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Y'all did good. It wasn't too, you didn't overdo it, and thank y'all very much for coming. Item 4 is department head reports. Mr. Mike Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. And in that same fashion, we have some department heads who will be coming forward. We have 4 to give a brief report on what's going on in their respective departments. First will be Ann Kirk with Keep Smyrna Beautiful, followed by our Parks and Rec Director, Steve Ciaccio. Scott Stokes will follow him, Public Works, and we wrapped up by Ken Sutter with our Community Development Department. Ann, thank you.
Thank you. Could you pull up the desktop for me, please? Oh. Thank you. Before I begin, I would like to correct an error. I omitted my great staff member, Virginia Davis, from the introductions, and without her, our award would not have been possible. And Virginia's in the audience there. Would you wave, please? Thank you, Virginia. Okay. Chris, I don't use laptops. So I want to back up. Oh, okay. This Saturday we had our Rivers Alive event. It was postponed twice in the fall, so we were finally able to get it in and had great weather. We had 90 volunteers. They collected 84 bags of trash. And you may recognize Angie Bolton and Teresa Hall pulling a piece of a mattress. How do you get a mattress out of the creek? One little piece at a time. So, oh dear. These are some of our Georgia State students who came on a bus. We had 30 of them, and they helped to carry out a car grill and some other big parts. There's the Broughtonwood Creek group. That did not include our Light of the World Church volunteers who cleaned up the staging area for us. We want to thank the Light of the World Church, Georgia State University, Kennesaw State University, the Martha Stewart Bullock chapter of the DAR, Keep Marietta Beautiful, and most of all the U.S. National Park Service, who brought staff and volunteers and equipment and led our volunteers up to where the dirty places were. So there's less and less trash every year. That's great news, but when we pull out a truckload, there's still work to be done. Our upcoming events: on March 19th is our household document shredding event from 9 a.m. till noon at the Eileen Wolf Center. This is the first time that we will have to charge for this event. If you bring in just a small box, a file box full of things to be shredded, we will not charge you. But anything more than one box will be $5 per car, and anything more than a cubic yard will be $20. And this is because we're having to pay approximately $1,000 to stage this event. So we're just trying to cover our cost. Our KSP Awards Banquet will be Thursday, March the 31st from 6:30 till 9. All of our Adopt a Mile groups and all of the volunteers and donors who have given above and beyond the call of duty to keep Smyrna beautiful during the year will be recognized. And we hope that all of the elected officials will be able to join us as well. Our Great American Cleanup is our annual April Adopt a Mile cleanup. That will be April 16th from 8 a.m. till noon at Bronner Park. Notice that is not at the recycling center. This event is too big to stage at the recycling center, because we do have a cleanup event, and then we give out T-shirts and we have a volunteer picnic. If you would like to volunteer or suggest a project, just call our office and my contact information will be on the last slide. Our 216 garden tour will be on May the 14th, so please save the date. We have 5 beautiful Smyrna gardens in the tour, plus the tea room with the famous good food and free music. Tickets are $15 in advance and $20 at the door. They'll go on sale at various locations in mid-April, and I will put that out on social media and the website. The Smyrna Fresh Market starts May the 7th at 8 a.m. in the parking lot of the First Baptist Church. We're open Saturday mornings from 8 a.m. until noon, May 7th through September. We have lots of beautiful fresh produce and fruits, eggs, olive oil, meats, soaps, creams, honey, jams, jellies, pickles, breads, and baked goods. We never know from year to year what vendors we're going to get, so we have some standbys and they're coming back, but there may be more and a bigger variety than even we've listed. The Smyrna Community Garden is taking leases at this time. We only have 23 plots left, and they're going fast. We have a 1-year lease that starts January and ends in December. This includes water. It's $1.25 per square foot of your garden, and we have gardens from 5 by 6 to 13 by 12. We give out basic garden information and access to classes with the master gardeners all throughout the season. So you'll have plenty of backup, and we may even have some classes in the garden. The new Smyrna Recycling Center edition is the Kidney Fund truck, and they're taking clothing and furniture that's gently worn. This is something that we've not been able to accept recently, so household items and small electronics that are in working order can be reused instead of recycled, and this is a better thing for us. So come on out. We're open. They're with us every day that we're open, and you'll get a receipt for your taxes. Thank you for keeping Smyrna beautiful, and here is our contact information. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're Steve Ciaccio.
I am, in fact, yes, sir.
I want to make sure you...
Thank you. From Smyrna Parks and Recreation. Here to give a brief on what we're doing in the next little bit with the Parks and Recreation Department. So today's big news, and this does not, in fact, impact Ann's shredding event that she just mentioned at the Eileen Wolf Adult Recreation Center, because her event is in fact outside in the parking lot. So what I'm about to say about the Wolf Center, not to worry, the shredding event is in fact happening. So at the end of the day, thankfully, no one got injured. Unfortunately, we had a pretty big accident today, and someone drove a car through the recreation building. And so there is an indefinite closure there. Actually, I saw photos about a half an hour ago, and much of it's already been cleaned up. Tomorrow we'll assess for structural damage. And I'm speaking to those that participate at the Adult Recreation Center at home on television. If you call our building, 678-631-5541, we will be staffed. We'll let you know when the building is going to reopen, but all activities on the land side, with what those folks who use those facilities call the land side, that building will be closed for a little bit. The lobby will be open for questions, and we can entertain them there. But the kinds of activities that happen in the fitness area, happen in the dance studio, happen in the reception room, those are going to be postponed for some time. Hopefully some short number of weeks, but I don't have detail on that just yet. However, on the other side, the Wolf Pool, that is only closed tomorrow. That will reopen as normal on Wednesday morning. So the Wolf Pool, back to usual come Wednesday of this week. And of course, the AARP hosted Tax Aid for Seniors, which is a pretty popular thing at the Wolf Center. That too is going to be canceled indefinitely. On March 19th, Flashlight Easter Egg Hunt and Movie at Tolleson Park. This is an annual favorite. March 19 at dusk. You can come a little bit earlier. We have children's activities inside of the building that is there. This is on the softball side of Tolleson Park, not on the pool side. For those who've been there before, children under 10 is what the focus is. The Easter egg hunt, you can buy advance tickets for $5. That's for a family of 1 or a family of 6. Registration can be purchased online or directly at the community center, or otherwise $10 for the day of the event. Rain date, should we be rained out, it doesn't look like we're going to be in the week-long forecast. Rain date would be March 26th, Saturday. The summer concert series, I'm making this announcement now because there have been some years where we took reservations in April. I wanted to let folks know that that was in fact going to be in May. Table reservations for those folks who want to see concerts downtown. Residents will be May 16 through May 26. You have that whole opportunity to come to the Wolf Adult Recreation Center and get your tickets, one or more, in person. The concert dates are June 11, July 16, and of course the birthday celebration August 6th. Resident tables are, as you see, $30 for June and July and $40 for the August function. For those folks who've not been to all of our facilities, you should know that some of them are quite beautiful. Some of them are on the historic register, and we rent many of them. Teller Bronner House, Bronner Hall. We have simple classroom settings, small rooms. You can training, weddings, anything you can think of. We have large and small rooms, and we're there for you. The community center is probably the best place to call for information about all of our facilities. That number is 770-431-2842. But you know, historic facilities on the historic register are not a normal thing for cities to have, for people to visit and have functions. We really do have a great variety. And so please give us a call and keep your lavish wedding plans in mind for us here at Parks and Recreation. Thank you so much. And next up is the much beloved Scott Stokes from Public Works.
Thank you, Mrs. Diageo. Scott Stokes with the Public Works Department. We'll go over a few divisions and some of the items that we have probably completed last year, and some things we've got complete or started this year and have planned for this year. Current spliced projects of roads, parks, sidewalks, trails, curb and gutter, bridge rehab, our Windy Hill Boulevard project, pavement resurfacing, stormwater and sanitary sewer studies, water main upgrades, sanitary sewer repairs and maintenance, and some stormwater. Some of our roads, approximately 12,000 feet of new and improved roadways are underway and scheduled for this coming fiscal year. Currently, a new roadway will be something called Glendale, I believe we're going to call it Glendale Boulevard. It's in white. It's a section of roadway that we're going to install from the ground up. between South Cobb and Old Concord Road. Currently underway is Spring Road improvements toward Cobb Parkway, between Cobb Parkway and Bell Drive. It also encompasses part of Cumberland Boulevard. And also currently underway is Windy Hill Road and Atlanta Road intersection improvement. And then our next major project would be our Windy Hill Road Boulevard. We also have underway an ATMS, automated traffic management system. The city currently has 52 signalized intersections throughout the city, as reflected in the map. Those 5 areas of town are equipped with closed-circuit televisions, so we can monitor what's happening on those particular intersections and roadways. And with that project, we've installed approximately 140,000 linear feet of fiber optics to connect all of our traffic signals and several of our buildings, so we have complete communication. Part of our security, or part of our SPLOST 2011 SPLOST projects was to upgrade all the city buildings and the parks with security cameras. That project is almost complete. Be able to monitor all of our parks and public facilities 24/7 through several buildings throughout the city. And then also within the parks and behind City Hall, we have, in 2 parks, we have something called Code Blues, which is that top picture in the middle. That's an emergency call station for the police in case someone's in the parks or behind City Hall that may need emergency help immediately. It also has cameras fitted with it, so it's a pretty good asset for the city. If those things work out well, then we can expand the system to other parks. Sidewalks and trails and curb work in 2015 is outlined in purple. 2015, we had Howell Drive was a complete curb project for the entire street in Linwood Court. 2016, we plan, hopefully starting this week, Bell Drive as a curb project, and also is going to have a sidewalk element to it to connect to the trail that's on Spring Road and to the neighborhood in the rear. And then sidewalks that are currently underway, or trails that are underway, would be Cumberland Boulevard, Spring Road area, down close to Cobb Parkway. Village Parkway has been upgraded with a trail, and Concord Road, with the Concord Road widening project, the trail was put in. And then also in the this year, after the Bell Drive project, we should be installing a portion of a linear park within that Concord Road corridor. Our Windy Hill Boulevard is a project that's actually under design. It's funded through SPLOST, not only by the city but by the county. It's probably one of the biggest projects that Smyrna is probably going to tackle in many, many years. Concept basically has through traffic that stays in the middle, running from city limits of Benson Pool all the way to Atlanta Road, no stops. And then the commuter traffic for the area will take the side roads to the right and left of the boulevard. We hope the concept includes, for the local traffic, pedestrian areas within the development or within the roadway itself, as you have your through traffic below, and then our pedestrian areas on top, and then access for the local traffic to move left and right of the neighborhoods. The roadway will be approached coming from the east and from the west, where through traffic would stay in the two lanes heading east and west, and then local traffic would take off of that roadway at a reduced speed and be able to make access to the businesses and residences on off of that roadway. Our bridge projects, last year we did 10 bridge projects. Those are shown on the map, areas of the bridges that we rehabbed. Most of that rehab work included vegetation removal away from the bridges, sediment erosion control, and bridge surface repairs and maintenance. Paving projects for 2015 and 2016 will total 54 projects. approximately 11 miles of roadway. In the purple were the 2015 projects that were completed last year, and in the blue are the 2016 projects that are slated for this year. 2015 had 31 streets repaved, and in 2016 we have 20 streets to repave. And that paving is sponsored by 30% SPLOST funds and 70% LMIG, Local Maintenance Improvement Grant from the state of Georgia. Also, on our stormwater and sanitary sewer, we currently model our systems as we go. On the left are our modeling efforts. That's the areas that are either been modeled or under model as we speak. Top right is our Belmont Basin that was completed last year. That area was modeled pre-recession. The work was done during the recession time. And then bottom right is basin number 3. That basin was modeled a couple years ago. Plans are currently in design, and that basin will be upgraded. It runs basically from behind Jonquil Plaza all the way to Cobb Parkway. Water mains 2015 and 2016. In 2015, we replaced water mains along South Cobb Drive, Medlin Street, Hollis Street, and Old Concord Road. And in 2016, the project's currently underway, and that's water main replacement on South Cobb between Wisteria and Concord Road. Sanitary sewer, 2015, the major project was the Belmont Outfall. And then in 2016, we have scheduled Antler Trail, Pretty Branch Drive, Smyrna Powder Springs Road, and Stub Basin 3, which is at Jonquil Outfall from Jonquil to Cobb Parkway. Stormwater projects in 2015, we completed a Reed Road improvement, Hickory Hill Drive, Lois Street, Highview Drive, and Fox Creek. And in 2016, this year, Brentwood Drive, which is currently underway, Hickory Acres Drive, Lake Drive, Pat Mill Road, Doeskin Trail, Walker Court. That project should start within a month, and then Lake Court. That's all I have.
I'm Ken Sudworth, Community Development Director. Just want to quickly go over department responsibility. We do planning and zoning, building permits and inspections. We were out there with the event today. Our chief building official was out at the Wolf Center. We do with business license and alcohol tax certificates, code enforcement, and economic development. So we have 5 sections within the department. As part of our development and our forecasting, we always like to know where our population is. Actually, our 15 population projection was just a little under 55,000. We are projecting to go to a little over 58,000 in 2020. In our planning and zoning section from 2015, we actually processed 22 total rezoning and zoning amendments, including special land uses. We had 49 variances last year. 41 of those were residential, 8 were non-residential. We also dealt with 11 annexations, totaling a little over 20 acres. Under our current and known projects, we have a project on South Cobb Drive, Creekside Village. Y'all will get that on at your next meeting on the 21st. Already in the loop are 2 projects, one on Dunn Street, which is a lot split, which you guys will see April 4th, And then there is a rezoning on Elizabeth Street that you will see April 18th. That's from a light industrial classification to an RAD, but in this case it's just for one home. They're tearing a home down and rebuilding it, and it's appropriate now to get it zoned correctly and get it out of that industrial classification. We've talked a lot about Emerson Center on Spring Road. The latest update on that is we are anticipating submittal this month. The Hawthorne Avenue Cemetery, again, we've met several times. Terry has been involved. We anticipate it coming back to y'all for action in April. Over in Ron's ward, we've been dealing with some a proposed townhome development there at Camp Highland in East West. We are still waiting on updated plans for that. And as you heard me mention at our retreat, text amendments associated with the Braves development, once staff gets through understanding what the county has approved, we will bring them forward to you. Just to remind you what we're currently dealing with, we have Belmont. Again, the numbers are in the handouts as well as up on the screen. It is well underway, both for the apartments, the single family, and the retail end of that. But just to give you a heads up, part of the retail is being considered for changing to office. So that's why it says under consideration by owner. About 30,000 square feet of that project would be converted. That would be on the Windy Hill side of that project. Jonquil, you see that there's a lot of grading going on. The grocery store is obviously 46,000. There are two other areas of retail development that would wrap the corner there at Atlanta and Spring. There's an out parcel of 5,000 square feet for a restaurant, as well as the approved 290. Those plans are in and are being reviewed right now. Riverview, also called Riverview Landing, down off of Riverview Road. We've talked about this. The road aspects are starting to occur, but ultimately you have a tremendous amount of residential construction down there. I believe it's about 17, maybe slightly over 1,700 units and 190,000 square feet of retail. Vision, we did mention this. I showed this because Vision actually started out of my department, although it's not under my control. But the new community liaison person was indeed hired and will start on the 14th. A couple other proposed issues which you'll see in your budget, in our budget proposal, is the comp plan update, which the state requires. It is due in October of 17, as well as we had talked about a sign ordinance update. And obviously the special project having to do with the halo effect off of the Braves development of creating an overlay district there. Wanted to go over some of our building inspection numbers. So they're in a table. All of the numbers except for the last one are higher in 2015 than they were in 2014 in terms of number of building inspections, the number of site visits those inspectors made, the number of plan reviews substantially up. Obviously the dwelling units substantially up because obviously we were dealing with an apartment development at Belmont. Then the soil erosion drainage inspections, which are different than our building inspection and site visits, were about 500 less in 15 than in 14. In our code compliance, because we often get asked, we had over 1,500 total violations that we were involved in last year. About 6% of those ended up in court. So 94% is what we are hitting in terms of getting compliance. which is what our goal is. We're after compliance on that. Those 98 violations involved 59 properties. They resulted in a little under $38,000 in total fines. I did want to just say that y'all get monthly reports from us about this, but if you went through and determined what the major request violations were, they're going to be tall weeds and grass. And they're going to start occurring in April for that. Upward to 25% of our total workload is in this tall weeds, grass kind of violation. There was a personnel change. Actually, her last day was last Friday. Miss Melanie Fouts took early retirement. We wish her the best. Staff is currently interviewing to replace her. And as you all know, Jerry Jacobs left the city last fall, and Patrick Law has been hired, who was a city employee and internal, and came to our office back in January. We also, as references on the first slide, we deal with business license, and we had 2,808 businesses. There's the breakdown. Obviously, the majority of those are in a retail classification. The regulatory one at 51 basically has to do with the pawn shops and those kind of things that have a special ordinance on those. We have 120 alcohol locations, which means that those locations actually have a alcohol license to sell some kind of beer, wine, or spirits. Those alcohol locations, though, are built into the retail aspect, but I did want to point out there are 120 locations where you can purchase alcohol. And just for interest, because we get this all the time, we had almost 350 new businesses. I didn't put this next to the flip side. We lose about 350 businesses every year, too, because the majority of these new businesses are home occupations. And so they'll come in, they won't make it, or they move and they shut down. So there's a very small net effect per year, only of a handful of businesses we gain each year. In economic development, I put this on as just one screen. I think what's important here, and that's why it's bolded, is if you look at the vacancy rates for retail, office, and industrial, they all dropped, which is a positive sign. Again, another sign of our economy improving in this area. A lot of current projects are coming out of the economic development. Tom is involved with Concord Road Park, and he is heading up the South Cobb Drive corridor study as well as the LCI study for Spring Road, and there are the numbers associated with that. We had a personnel change last year as well, as we hired Will Smith back in February of last year to replace Jared Sigmund, who you all know transferred into finance, is doing a great job there with the budget. And that is all I have, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Is that the last one?
Yes.
Okay. Thank y'all very much. Next item on the agenda is land issues and annexation. I don't think we have anything on that. Item 6 is previous licenses. We have nothing there. Item 7 is formal business. 2016-03 approval of ordinance 2016-03 to amend City of Smyrna Code Ordinance 2, Chapter 2, Article 2, Division 2, Section 246, regular meeting times, day, place to move the regular city council meeting from 7:30 to 7. Mr. Jones, the background, please.
Mayor, the City Council established the current 7:30 meeting time in 1977. In the last 40 years, with the population growth, it's resulted in lengthier council agendas, and time change from 7:30 to 7 p.m., so this meeting will start 30 minutes earlier to allow more public participation. It also put us more in line with the other cities within Cobb County, such as Ackworth, Austell, Marietta, and Powder Springs. And if this is approved, the time change would take effect beginning with the mayor and council meeting on April 18th of this year.
This is Mr. Ron Fennell, who chairs the Finance and Administration.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this is a positive change, just moving it a half an hour earlier. So therefore, I move approval of Ordinance 2016-03, approval of ordinance to amend the City of Smyrna Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Article 11, Division 2, Section 2-46, regular meeting time days, placed and moved the regular City Council meeting from 7:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. beginning April 18, 2016.
I have a motion and a second to approve this ordinance change, which would move our meetings from 7:30 to 7 o'clock. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please vote. That's approved 5-0. We've got 2 folks that are out. Thank you very much. Item B, 2016-108, approval of fee waiver request for building permits fees of $2,100 and occupational fee license fees of $14,500. I think it's Garda World, is that right?
Yeah. Garda World, yes, sir.
To assist with expenses associated with their relocation from 5400 United Drive to 1860 Freeman Parkway. The background, Mr. Jones.
Mayor, this company moved to Smyrna in 1999, and 17 years later, their facilities have been outpaced by their growth, and they're looking to move into a facility that better suits their current needs. They're currently located off of United Drive, and they were looking at areas also outside of Smyrna, so we were faced with losing 140 jobs here. Several folks within the community development worked with Garda World and others to craft this proposal. The total of the two is $16,600, and the occupational license fee will be paid in over a 4-year period. And this will help them defray some location costs. What they've agreed to do is move to a suitable facility on Freeman Parkway and retain those 140 jobs within the City of Smyrna. And in conjunction with the assistance from the City of Smyrna, the Cobb Development Authority is willing to partner with us and consider a $20,000 relocation grant to assist Garda World with some of their anticipated relocation expenses. And staff is recommending approval of this and has done an incentives recapture analysis to show the repayment.
So, Mr. Ron Fennell's.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With the growth of United Distributors in its organic footprint, the displacement here, and I think the outstanding job that our economic development and finance team did to come up with this creative solution, I want to call out specifically Tom Boland for helping to make this happen. These jobs are retained in Smyrna rather than leaving, as was pointed out, and they remain in Ward 7, so I'm particularly proud of that. So, Mr. Mayor, I move approval of 2016-108, approval of a fee waiver request for the building permit fees of $2,100 and occupational license fees of $14,500 from Garda World to assist with the expenses associated with their relocation from 5400 United Drive to 1860 Freeman Parkway.
Second.
Motion second. Is there someone here from a company? I don't know if you. I think it's going to pass, so I'll just leave it alone. Let's get it. Have a motion and a second. If there's no other discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please vote. That's approved 5-0. If you want to say something now, we're glad that you're staying. If you want to come forward and just say something.
I would just like to briefly say I'm I'm Vincent Russell, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, thanks for having me in the City Council. I'm Vincent Russell. I'm the General Manager for Garda World for the South Region. We've been in this in Smyrna for about 17 years. We love Smyrna. We are looking forward to being here many years, and we appreciate all the consideration and assistance that you all have provided us. So thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Item C, 2016-114 is approval of the intergovernmental agreement for title ad valorem tax between the City of Smyrna and Cobb County, and authorize the mayor to sign any related documents. Mr. Jones, the background, please.
Mayor, House Bill 386 was passed by the Georgia legislature in 2012, which created this title ad valorem tax, referred to as TAVT. It's on motor vehicles, and it replaced the sales and use tax at the time of purchase, as well as the annual ad valorem tax on motor vehicles. The city adopted an intergovernmental agreement with Cobb County in February of 2013, and that provided a provision to where some of this TAVT would come back to the city of Smyrna from Cobb County. And this is an annual agreement we signed. This year, the state calculated distribution was 53.3%, which results in a change of a decrease in the amount that's going to be remitted to the city by 5.95%. And this intergovernmental agreement is the vehicle to get those funds remitted back to the city of Smyrna.
Mr. Ron Fennell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As prescribed by the legislature, this formula allows for an annual requirement of this ordinance passage to allow us to have access to the funds earned through the TAVT. So therefore, I move approval of 2016-114, approval of the intergovernmental agreement for title ad valorem tax between the City of Smyrna and Cobb County, and to authorize the mayor to sign related documents.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please vote. That's approved 5-0. Item D, 2016-122, authorize the acquisition of real property by all lawful means for a road project and improvements to be known as Glendale Boulevard. The property is situated within an area stretching from South Cobb Drive to Old Concord Road. This authorization includes adopting a resolution and declaration of taking for the following parcels and authorizing the mayor to execute such documents and all other documents incidents to these acquisitions. Property of South Cobb Festival LLC located in land lot 346 of the 17th District, 2nd Section, and a portion of 2500 South Cobb Drive, parcel number 1 and 2. Property of Loling Home Properties LLC located in land lot 345 of the 17th District, 2nd Section, and a portion of 2525 Old Concord Road, parcel number 4. Background, please, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Mayor, as you've indicated, these two properties are part of this Glendale Boulevard project. Several of the properties that are impacted by this project have already been acquired. Our city attorney, Scott Cochran, has been working diligently on this particular project, and a couple of these have just become unresponsive, and that is the need for the resolution and the declaration of taking. This project has been designed, has been bid, and the bid award will be announced at the next council meeting. And that creates a sense of urgency to move this one forward. And we request the mayor and council take action on these two parcels.
This is also falls on the Finance and Administration. Mr. Ron Fennell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This creative solution is part of the larger project that connects a roadway that will allow for a more safe and efficient manner of conveyance in the corridor that we have worked on for a number of years to get to this point. These two out-of-town LLCs, there are no local owners, as I understand it, in this project. It's a small segment of land, and therefore I move approval of Ordinance 2016-122 to authorize the acquisition of real property by all lawful means for a road project and improvements to be known as Glendale Boulevard. The property is situated within an area stretching from South Cobb to Old Concord Road. This authorization includes adopting a resolution declaration of taking of the following parcels and authorizing the mayor to execute such documents and all other documents incident to these three acquisitions. Property of South Cobb Festival LLC LLC, located in land lot 346 of the 17th District, 2nd Section, in a portion of 2500 South Cobb Drive, parcels numbers 1 and 2. And property of Lolina Hun Properties, LLC, located in land lot 345 of the 17th District, 2nd Section, in a portion of 2525 Old Concord Road, parcel number 4.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mayor, one thing I failed to mention during the course of this is I think it needs to be clear that we are not displacing any businesses by taking this action, that we're simply acquiring a portion of what is effectively a parking lot that will be converted into a boulevard. So there's no displacement associated with this condemnation.
And Mr. Cochran, it's a very small footprint. Thank you.
All those in favor of the motion, please vote. It's approved 5-0. Item E, 2016-117, approval reappointment of the DDA Downtown Development Authority members as shown: Kevin Draw, Jim Delmer, Larry Freeman, Kimberly Janjimi, and Jason Sleever for a term to expire April 2017. This is an annual thing that we do annually. If whoever wants to make the motion, there's not much to say.
Mr. Mayor, as a former member, I'll make a motion that we approve this.
Second.
Motion is second to approve to reappoint these members of the DDA. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please vote. It's approved 5-0. Item F, 2016-118, it's approval of appointment to the Downtown Development Authority, Diane Raisin, to serve a term to expire April of 2017. Mr. Stoney, you want to take care of that one too?
Well, I thought maybe
his constituent,
his representative might want to do that.
Corky Welch.
Be happy to, Mr. Mayor. Make a motion to for the approval of the appointment to the DDA of Diane Raisin to serve a term to expire April 2017.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please vote. Approved 5-0. Item 8 is commercial building permits. We have none. Item 9 is consent agenda. Mr. Jones, will you please read the consent agenda for council's approval?
Yes, sir, Mayor. There are 6 items on the consent agenda. The first one is approval of the February 15th Mayor and Council meeting minutes. The second is an award for RFQ 16-028. This is for concrete work for the Public Works Department, lowest bidder, Braswell Concrete. The third item is an authorization to renew and extend the cell tower lease agreement between the City of Smyrna and Crown Castle. This is the tower located over near the police department. The fourth item, approval to close the road for Smyrna Elementary School Foundation beginning with Belmont Place southeast from a roundabout to Fleming on March 19th from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. The event will start at 10 p.m. Next is approval to use council chambers for Smyrna Vision Education meeting that will occur on March 22nd from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And finally, approval to use city council chambers for Vinings Forest Condos Homeowner Association meeting on Thursday, March 31st from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m.
Any motion we approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please vote. Approved 5-0. Item 10 is committee reports. We'll start tonight with Ms. Andrea Bluestein.
I knew he was going to say that because I wasn't ready. Well, I want to clarify one thing because I'm a little bit confused about it myself. I know that the Keep Smyrna Beautiful is having a shredding event on March 19th from 9 a.m. to noon. I am assuming it's going to be in the Wolf Center parking lot. Yeah, okay. It will be in the Wolf Center parking lot on Church Street. Remember, the only thing that's changed on this is that the first bag is free, and if as long as it's reasonable, and then it's $5 a bag after that because the KSB had to put out money in advance to get the shredder to come out, so they're not trying to make money, they're just trying to recoup a little bit of money. I'm going to try to have a town hall meeting sometime in April, but I don't know where yet, but I will let my Ward 2 people know as soon as possible because there's so much going on right now. So with that, I yield, Your Honor.
Ms. Terry-Nolowich.
Yes, thank you. We did have a catastrophe in Ward 3 today at the Wolf Center, but thankfully we did not have a tragedy. And I think that everyone recognizes that it was truly through grace that nothing terrible happened today, that no one was injured. And I'm glad that the pool is going to be able to reopen Wednesday, and I'm glad that I'm optimistic that hopefully the rest of the building will follow suit and will soon be available for use again by our senior residents over at the Wolf Center. I also wanted to congratulate Keep Smyrna Beautiful tonight on the awards that they have won. This is not unprecedented. This is something that they are recognized over and over again, year in, year in, statewide, nationally, for everything they do. They really do impact everyone in the city of Smyrna by the work that they do, and it is unbelievable. They have a volunteer army, and they have achieved great things. So congratulations to Keep Smyrna Beautiful. And I also wanted to note that I am excited to serve as chair of the vision process and the vision committee for the coming 4 years. We have had a lot of good things happen so far with the vision implementation. The committee this year includes Derek Norton and Andrea Bluestein. We had a meeting of the Executive Implementation Committee last week, and the work groups really are humming along. There were 14 goals that were identified to achieve during the first couple of years of the implementation process, and we've achieved several. We are well on our way to achieving more, but most notably is the success of the Smyrna Arts and Culture Committee, which is part of the, that's one of the initiatives that was identified as something that we wanted to accomplish, and they've done a great job. And I'll report back as we continue to progress with our goals and with the implementation progress. If you were interested in participating on one of the work groups, you can always contact me. My phone number is 404-931-8374, or you can email tianulowitz@gmail.com, and rather than me spelling it, it's probably quicker for you to just go to the Smyrna City website and find my email from there. With that, I yield.
Mr. Corky Welch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple of announcements. A week or 10 days ago, I stopped by Smyrna Grove, and I'm not trying to promote any real estate or anything, but I walked through the homes that they had, the model homes there, and they're absolutely gorgeous. If you get a chance to go and see what the benefits of the previous city council before I came on here, where we went in and took a blighted community and turned it into something that's really going to be great out there. So go in and take a tour of them. Secondly, I just want to announce I will not be at the April 4th City Council meeting. As many of you know, my wife is a teacher, and it's Cobb County spring break, and we'll be out of town at that time. With that, Mr. Mayor, I yield.
Mr. Doug Stoner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My comments tonight is something several folks have seen in the paper, and that is concerning what is happening at what I still call Smyrna Hospital, but is now going to be known as Emory Hospital here in Smyrna. For those who did not see the paper this past week or so, Emory has announced that they're going to be making a $33.8 million investment in what a lot of us still call Smyrna Hospital, and turn it into a surgical center. And definitely it's great news for obviously us in Ward 6, but also for the whole city. And it's been a bit of a long time coming. There's still a ways to go, so don't run down there tomorrow thinking that they're going to be able to do surgery on you. It's going to be taking several months here, probably anywhere from 9 to 18 months, depending on the process with the state of Georgia, as they go through what's called a certificate of need requirement. But the good news is that they're making a huge investment in that facility, and that's just the first phase. There's going to be at least two other phases afterwards. That eventually down the road, if everything hopefully works out, and we're talking several years now, not next year, not 2 years from now, but hopefully within the next 5 years, we may have an emergency room back in that location. But it's great news in the sense of a surgical center, and also them attracting new doctors' practices to the same location. So just want to let folks know that who might have missed that in the paper in the last week or two. Beyond that, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have to report.
Mr. Ron Fennell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to follow on the heels of this hospital investment of $34 million with the new Wellstar Vinings Health Park that's going on Atlanta Road, just outside 285. I was privileged to go with a couple of our other council members to the groundbreaking recently. That is a $77 million investment in our region, and so we're going to have access to health care with these two facilities, and we're pleased with the progress in that regard. Also, Creekside Provident Village will be opening soon within the next 30 days. That is on South Cobb Drive. That is Phase 1. I think you heard in Mr. Sedgwick's report that we have Phase 2 in the process headed our way with some additional options. I also want to note that Whitfield Academy just celebrated and had a dedication of a land donation by one of their family members. Donated enough land now makes the campus at Whitfield Academy 100 acres, and they'll be bringing information to me, and we'll have a resolution here to commend them on that rounding out, and all aspects of the annexation for the remaining property will be included in that discussion. Also, I'll be working with the administration in finance as we go through the next 3 or 4 months, and as the department heads submit their budget and administration's putting together those numbers so that we can bring those to you for proper public hearings at the right time. But I'm excited about the financial condition we're in, our bonding capacity, the strength of where we are in the market, and we hope to be creative and forward-thinking in our next phase of our budget adoption. And then finally, I want to just remind everybody this coming weekend, Daylight Saving Time, spring forward. Just keep your families properly adjusted accordingly. So anyway, that's my report, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mike Jones.
No report, Mayor.
Mr. Scott Cochran. Ms. Terry Rail. Okay. We do not have a show cause hearing. We got some folks that signed up for citizens input. Kim Childs is still here. I'm good. She's a candidate for Superior Court. And Jane Manning, I think she left. Alec Backery, 3459 Shawnee Trail.
Eight years ago, the city purchased 2 1/3 acres in Jonquil Plaza. 2 1/3 acres, $590,000 for one, $630,000 for the other. That's $1.2 million. 8 years later, it's finally losing interest on it. I find this to be outrageous. When Jonquil was empty for 8 years, you could have got it for a lot less. I don't understand how much was spent. And when I asked the city why they bought it, to control what goes in there, I find this absurd. You have a planning board and a council that decides what goes where. Totally unacceptable. Now you have Smyrna Grove that wants to put a road out to South Cobb Drive. There is a road through that shopping center that's been used for years from Hickory Lakes residents. There are potholes in there. Halpern owns it. That's his responsibility to fill those holes. I don't understand why he hasn't done that. But I don't think there's a road that should have been put through there. But if push comes to shove, the city has splosh money. Now, why hasn't the city offered splosh money for that? If the developer wants a road through there, he should be with the person that owns the property, and they should be doing it themselves. That's the first option. The second option is using splosh money. As it is now, the city has a swap. We lose $1.2 million of taxpayer money, as well as 8 years of interest is up near $2 million. And if you use splosh money, you could have got some of that money back from Halpern to buy those 2 1/3 acres. Now, Mayor, you made it a point in one of the Rotary meetings that we'll be getting the money back in 20 years from Smyrna Grove. That's outrageous. This is a classic example of why government shouldn't be in private enterprise. And it just another loss of taxpayer money that we didn't know about. And I hope in this new regime you stay out of the real estate business. Secondly, my comment, if you look at the Yahoo on the best cities in in Georgia to live in, Smyrna ranks 20th with a score of 79. Kennesaw's score is 83. So that's far away from what this council said Smyrna is the place to live in Georgia. We're 20th. And I hope you, again, stay out of the real estate business. Thank you.
Mike Deathkoff, 5036 Laurel Springs Way. Follow up from 1/19/16 visit Airbnb properties.
My last visit here on January 19th, met with Councilman Welch and Councilman Fennell after the meeting, and they were nice enough to tell me to contact Rich Golick about my problem. I'm the person that lives next to this Airbnb VRBO property next to me. My neighbors have complained about, I've had 3 neighbors that complained about it, have 3 separate letters about that, and my 2 letters. I did contact Rich Golick. I'll read the letter very quickly. It's written to Scott Cochran. I hope this is dated 2/11/16. I hope this message finds you well and having a good 2016. I want to let you know that I have been contacted by constituents on Laurel Springs Way about a problematic Airbnb property at the address listed above. My understanding is that the city may have been waiting to take action on this issue as not to conflict with any potential state regulations that may emerge from the 2016 session of the Georgia General Assembly. At this minute, it appears that it's highly unlikely that the state will take any issue on this year, so I would clearly encourage the city to act as soon as possible within its power in light of the negative effect this property is having on the quality of life of these residents. Thank you for your time and attention here. I will ask you to please forward this to Mayor Bacon and let him know if you have any questions or concern. I also talked to Rich Golick on the phone the same day. He said the city of Smyrna is free to make their own ordinance. It is better to have an ordinance at the local level versus the state. There are 4 neighbors complaining about this problem and something needs to be done. I guess I should have said in the beginning, I was told at the last council meeting, and I was told prior to that the city would not do anything until they knew what the state legislature was going to do. The city would not consider making an ordinance about banning this Airbnb or VRBO. My second comment is, if you look at this little sheet I took off of an article off of VRBO ban, I don't have time to read it all. I'll just read the first 4 paragraphs. Vacationers interested in visiting Southern Marin will find a dearth of rental offerings. Now at the tribunal has joined Sausalito, I'm not pronouncing those right probably, in banning short-term rentals. After a lengthy discussion Wednesday night in which many homeowners were unhappy, that tribunal town council voted 3-2 with Mayor Frank and this mayor dissenting to amend the zoning ordinance to ban rentals fewer than 31 days. These properties are typically made available through websites of Airbnb and VRBO. The council has been reviewing this issue since March after receiving years of complaints about residents about noise, parking, and other disturbances in neighborhoods. I think the council made a good decision. Where residential community commercializing a neighborhood town is something I think we should not be doing. On the last page, there's a bunch of other towns in California that has banned these. My point is about bringing this article out is that it looks like the city cared about its residents. They want them to have a good quality of life. Obviously, the residents were getting woke up all the time with a lot of noise, which my letters and my neighbors' letters have pointed it out very well. I hope the city of Smyrna brings a ordinance up for a vote. I gave my packet to Corey Welch a couple weeks ago to pass out to all the other council people. Also, when I was here too, I guess January 19th, Mayor, we talked about it's hard for a police, when people are honking their horns and alarms come out, it takes anywhere from about 30 to 40 minutes for the police to get out there. We talked about having something like animal control does, an affidavit complaint, where you have two different neighbors complain and describe the time and the description and be able to take them to court and maybe get citations issued that way. You said you'd look into it. I haven't heard anything. I'm just tired of getting woke up. Myself and my two neighbors don't even want to live here anymore. Please help us out.
Thank you for your comments.
Okay. Can I follow up with you in a couple of weeks? Or I guess I should follow up with Councilman Welch then? Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. That was the last person to sign up for citizens' input. If there's no other business, I'll call this meeting adjourned at 8:50.